As President Donald Trump's final term, let me start that again. First and final term. As President Trump's term comes to a violent close, aides have reported about his incredibly fragile and dangerous mental state. Now, CNN chief White House correspondent Jim Acosta is reporting that Trump is traumatized and out of his mind over failing to overturn the election results. So, traumatized. Really? You traumatized because you didn't get your way in an election? Like you actually lost an election legitimately? Weak sauce. All right, but more. Here's what Acosta says. He says, I talked to a source, a GOP source close to the president, who speaks with him regularly. Oof, feel bad for that person. And I take no pleasure in reporting this, but the source tells me that he believes the president is out of his mind. The quote used by this source is, he is out of his mind. And the source says the president is so traumatized by his loss in the election, it is all he can talk about. It is all he can think about. It is all consuming for him. And in this source's opinion, he is out of his mind. No shit. Yeah, out of his mind. 100%. But there's more. Maggie Haberman of the New York Times also reported that the president, a senior advisor says, has lost it. He has been almost impossible to talk to throughout the day today and has been watching the coverage of the Capitol. You also have John Santucci of ABC News reporting this. Sources say tonight that the president is fuming, mad inside the White House. Unclear what his next move or action could be. He's described by one strong source as stewing. Oh, great. Okay, out of your mind, out of his mind, fuming, stewing, traumatized. This is not somebody who is in a good mental place. This is not somebody who can make sound policy decisions. Not that he ever really could, but it's even worse now. It's even worse now. So, yeah. Now, I want y'all to tell me, why is anyone surprised at this and what has happened and the reporting from this? Why is anybody surprised here? Okay, I mean, really. This is who Donald Trump is. This is what I've been saying who Donald Trump is. The guy is delusional. He's a proto-fascist. He doesn't believe in democracy. He doesn't believe in reality. Okay, and his ego, it's even worse. His ego does not allow him to accept defeat. He's never been held to account for anything in his life. He's never actually lost, never been actually told no. Why are people surprised at all that this person is not handling a loss very well? And also, why are people surprised that you had angry MAGA folks that ended up storming the Capitol? It's fascism. This is what happens in fascist takeovers, okay? And by the way, fascism is the end result of conservative ideology. It is the extreme of conservative ideology, and unfortunately, the natural progression when you continue to move the country rightward, all right? And so, I mean, this mob was 100% convinced that the election was stolen from them is a result of, basically created by, and is a result of decades of conservative media propaganda specifically designed to create outrage. And that's really what it is. And ultimately, of course, the side effect of that is to raise money, both for, independent right-leaning news stations, and also from billionaires who just don't want to raise their taxes. But also, it's also a great way to divide people, working class people, so that the elites can better pick our pockets. But also, understand, too, that they also scare the shit out of bougie white people who don't like the idea of black people moving into their neighborhoods and getting into sort of economic, benefits or any sort of economic mobility. And so these right-wing, these conservative media outlets are constantly drumming the black people are dangerous, black people, minorities are coming to take your jobs, minorities, you got the caravans are coming in. Let me tell you, they're very, very dangerous. They're going to rape your wife and they're going to kill your children. They're going to do it right in front of you. Let me tell you, and the only way you can do is to, fight against that is to elect more and more conservative people into the government. And of course, the net result of that is, of course, and you could tell it's kind of like an Alex Jones or playing on an Alex Jones kind of person. Guess what? That guy has made a ton of money off that message from his viewers. And so that's what they do. But understand that it's not the working class that invaded the Capitol. These are QAnon conspiracy theorists, podcasters, YouTubers, as well as upper middle class racist Republicans. That one guy that sat in Nancy Pelosi's chair, that guy was a person who received paycheck protection business loans. Okay, this is a business owner, supposedly a job creator, the pillar of the community, breaking in to the Capitol building and stealing somebody's mail, right? That is the Nancy Pelosi's mail. All right, I'm no fan of Nancy Pelosi, but dude, don't steal their fucking mail. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And understand, these are MAGA. It's not regular working class folks that are downtrodden by the system. No, these are people that have benefited greatly from the system being as is, and they are fighting so hard against change that will actually help everyone. And so they're like, I don't want everyone to be helped. I want me to be helped. I want to take my country back. Well, back from who? The minorities. Because that's what they're about. Okay? This is who they are. And here's the other thing, right? And it's kind of the thing that amazes me, right? And I know it shouldn't, but people have died for him. 4 people were killed. 4 people were killed in this. One woman was a QAnon conspiracy theorist. She was shot in the neck by DC police. Ended up dying in the hospital, I think, a couple hours later. Okay, 3 others died from medical emergencies. Now, I don't know what 2 of them were, but apparently one guy had tased himself and gave himself a heart attack. I don't really know the context. Did he do it on purpose? Was he, not smart enough to, and I hate saying that because he's dead. Did he not know how to handle a taser? What was he even doing with a taser in the first place? And how did he end up tasing himself? I mean, it's ridiculous. And by the way, none of that includes, as far as, the death toll of President Trump's, being time in office. People who died from COVID, okay, that were followers of Donald Trump, people who would listen to him, followed his advice. They didn't wear masks. They didn't socially distance. They took hydroxychloroquine and zinc and thought they were invincible, okay? A lot of those people actually have died. Herman Cain died from coronavirus. And he went to a place that was unmasked. You also had, a Republican, Luke Letlow, okay? That guy, he went to a bunch of maskless events. He was an anti-masker, a pro-Trump person, and he got coronavirus. He died. He was in his 40s. Young, healthy, dead. That's a result of Trump, okay? That's a result of Trumpism. That's a result of believing in a con man and in conspiracy theories. And here's the thing, right? This was a super spreader event. No doubt about it. You think there were people wearing masks in that crowd? I didn't see any. I didn't see any at all. In fact, to them, wearing a mask is a political symbol, right? It's a political symbol against Donald Trump, all right? But the whole point is these people died for him, and you think he cares? You think he gives a rat's ass if you die for him? No, he only cares about himself. He's narcissistic, and I think he might be mentally ill. I think he might have something severely wrong with his brain, probably maybe through decades of, cocaine and drug use and poor diet. And so, I mean, that doesn't excuse his narcissism, and it doesn't excuse the other personality flaws. But I also think that there's an inability for him to actually grasp reality anymore. And that is a huge problem for somebody who is supposed to be the leader of the free world. I mean, that's why 25th Amendment, you got to get rid of them. I know it sucks trying to appeal to Republicans to do the right thing, because they will always disappoint you. But at this point, you've got to do something. Impeachment will take too long, okay? You think that, and also you think the Republicans in the Senate are gonna, the same ones that stood up and denied the certification of the election results, you think they're gonna vote to impeach the president after this clown coup? Nope, not going to happen. 25th Amendment, maybe, because that still requires a lot of his a lot of his cabinet to do so, and requires some courage on behalf of Mike Pence. I don't think that's going to happen either. But if you're a Trump supporter, you are following a dangerous man, a dangerous and mentally unstable man. You are not following a patriot. You are not following somebody who believes what you believe. Donald Trump has no beliefs other than, the belief in himself. And it's not like there weren't signs. It's not like we didn't know that this was going to happen. It's not like nobody was telling you. We were. And guess what you said? Fake news. Fake news. You're fake news. You're bad. Media bad. Except for the ones that we like. And then, of course, there are journalists that are attacked. Journalists that have been constantly attacked by Trump supporters throughout the last 4 years. When all we are doing is saying, hey, you're following a madman down the cliff. We don't want you to go down the cliff. We don't want the country to go down the cliff. Please listen to us. Please listen to facts. Come back to reality. So much for that, right? So much for that. But we've been showing you for all this time exactly who he is and why he is and has always been unfit to be in office. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.